So in this video, we're going to be running through how to use the video in PlayIt. Now, using the video in PlayIt is pretty simple. You just create a category and you set your type equal to video, and then you add the necessary video tags in order for your videos to show up. Now, we're going to run through all these attributes on the video tag in just a little bit, but first we're going to jump up here to the top of the PlayIt node and run through the global settings that would apply to every category that uses the type video. So let's run through these attributes really quickly here. The first one that we see is video autoplay, and what this will do is this will automatically play a video. However, there is a concept on the video tag known as, we'll jump down here really quickly, called player, and there's two values for that one. There's called local and remote. And local means that the video is hosted locally and you have control over it. Remote means it would be a third-party video like YouTube or Vimeo or some other video service. So the autoplay only applies to local hosted videos. If you want to set the value on YouTube or Vimeo, you can easily do that through a query string, which we'll show a little bit later on. Now, in order for the dialog to change the height and width, you can easily do that through setting the height and width properties, and then you can also change something called info enable, which is information that is bound to each video tag, and then the nav bar enable. So let's run through these really quickly. Let's go ahead and show what everything looks like in true mode. So if we jump out here and we refresh our player, this first one is a local hosted video, and we have that autoplay set to true. So you can see that it automatically starts to play the video. Now down here at the bottom you see that we have a navigation bar and a video information tag. This can easily be toggled back and forth, where the information in here is all HTML based or just text. Whatever you want to put in here you can, whether it's a link to Amazon, your own shopping cart, pictures, whatever you want, you can put it in here. And that's all bound in the info tag that's within a video tag. And this is just a toggle back and forth. Now, the next and back buttons are used to just navigate through the sequences of videos that you have. So let's jump back to our text editor and change some of these values. We're going to make sure that the autoplay is not automatically set. We're going to go ahead and change the width and height just to be a little bit smaller. Let's do 400 by 600. Let's go ahead and hide. We're just going to hide the navigation bar altogether. So we set this to false. We're going to come back out here. We're going to refresh our page, and we're going to open up the first link here. Now you can see that the video player no longer has the navigation bar, and it was resized, and it's also not auto playing. So just remember that when you change these settings that they are across all categories for the video tag. So this should be a good run through of the global settings for the video tag. Okay, so now we're going to run through the different attributes that belong to the video tag. Now the first attribute here is the player attribute, and there are two settings that we said earlier. There's local and remote, and what local does is it allows it to use a local video player, and the remote would be a remote video player such as YouTube and Vimeo. Now the next attribute is title, which is a required tag, and this just gives the video a name. The next one is the source. Now if you're using a third-party source such as YouTube, then you would point it to the embed share link that they give you. If you're doing your own video, then you could point it directly to a URL or a relative path, but you do also want to make sure that that player attribute is set to local. Now poster and thumb, these are images that you want to represent your video, and the poster is shown on the tile view and the thumb is shown on the list view, and it should be 48 by 48, while the poster should be no larger than 256 by 256. Now info enabled true, you can turn this information node down here on and off if you want to on a node by node, on a video node by node basis. So if you wanted to temporarily turn or disable that video button off, you could do that by setting this equal to false. Now this last attribute here, length, is just a dynamic attribute that I created. These are any type of attribute you want to create, you can create. So say we wanted to create one called size, and we wanted to show the size of the video. In this particular case, we wanted to show that it was 40 megabytes. So in order to show that, we could show it on the list view by matching that size. So we're going to go down there and find that size attribute. We're going to match on that, and in the list view itself, we're going to say my size, right? So let's go ahead and save this out. And we are going to jump over to the list view, and we can see that it says my size. Now, as you can see, because we didn't set that other one, it's just falling in as a default unknown parameter. So that is a way to set dynamic attributes if you want to on the video tag. Now, as we mentioned earlier, you can do autoplay on these third-party videos that you pass in as the source. So for Vimeo, their query string is autoplay equals true or false, and YouTube has a similar setting. So the last thing that we can look at here too is the info tag. Now remember, when you are doing info tags, they need to all be wrapped in C data, and the information that you can put in here can be any HTML, text, or JavaScript that you want. And so this should be a high-level coverage of the video tag.